In this episode, we meet a nameless gimp ninja, complete a stealth mission through trial and error because this game has no stealth mechanics, and get a sweet-looking cape for starting a gang civil war while robbing a bank. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I'm Josh Hayes, and this is part 8 of the unforgettable adventure through the Otherland MMO. If you're enjoying the experience so far, drop a like on the video and sub to the channel for more MMO stuff. Ring the bell so you don't miss a premiere of a future video. As usual, a big thank you to all my supporters on Patreon and subs on Twitch for making my channel and this video series possible. More on this and how you can support at the end of the video. Before we dive into episode 8, some important news on the future of Otherland. You may remember Discord user Explain helping me with the research into the history of the game. Well, now they've actually gone even further, and they are in talks with the rights holders, and there is a very slim but also very real chance that due to this video series, Otherland may yet find a future, and it may be in the hands of the fans. Explain has set up a short survey for anyone who would be interested in seeing Otherland survive. The link is in the video description. If you fancy being a part of history and maybe saving a video game, go and fill it in. It costs you nothing, takes about 2 minutes, and I have already done this. Right, onwards to episode 8. The zombies aren't hard to kill, because since discovering the damage over time glitch, nothing is hard to kill, so we survive the ambush and return to Jörg. Telling him about the necromancer for our troubles, we're given some jazzy new shoulder pads. Remember, the more elaborate your shoulder pads, the better you are at the game. Jörg now asks us to put his former allies to rest and go and kill a load of zombies, and for the next 4 or 5 hours, the game kicks the grindy kill X quests into overdrive, so here we go. The former comrades of Jörg are all very spread out, so killing them takes a while. And next, he wants us to stop more bodies being converted to zombies, so we have to kill a load of body snatchers and then burn the corpse piles we find around the graveyard. These quests aren't hard, they're just repetitive. With this done, Jörg tells us he has seen the necromancer who raised the zombies fighting another necromancer. Ooh, unknown mystery going on, fantastic, a bit of civil war within the zombie ranks. With Jörg happy enough, we escort him back to the White Army camp so maybe the doctor can cure him. On the way back, we have to defend him from 3 waves of enemies twice in the same place. Now you might be thinking, surely that's just 6 waves of enemies and the game could say wave 1 out of 6. But no, it's totally different. This isn't 6 waves. This is 3 waves twice. The doctor is super thrilled to have a live zombie she can communicate with and test on, and while she's doing so, Fred shows up and says she'll help out the doctor, we should go and assist around the camp. Now, you know how this game sometimes needs you to complete every mini-quest in an area before you can move on with the main quest? Well, this part is the worst offender for abusing that mechanic. This next section is just pure grind. This nurse wants us to go and check on her family's gravestones to see if the bodies are still there. And this knight wants us to help defend the mountain from a combination of zombies and the Dark Army. The mountain quest is closest, so off we go. The battlefield is a lovely large open space with fog rolling around and graves and arrows scattered everywhere, and we kill 14 enemies. Why 14? Well, just to stretch the content out, honestly. I think this is probably the exact moment the producers started to really needlessly lengthen the quests. 14 killed, so we go and check on the nurse's family. The gravestones of the family are all very spread around, but we magically know exactly where they are and can go straight to them. I don't really have an issue here because while it is less realistic, I would be complaining even more if I had to manually check every gravestone. But one element I can't agree with is the position of this final gravestone. It's not even in the graveyard, it's just on the dock edge by some water on a tiled floor. This isn't where you'd bury a body. This is a cargo loading area. Why on earth did some designer put a gravestone here? No one would ever end up buried here. And what was that? I just saw a tiny ghost child run past me super fast. Is that a hidden quest or an Easter egg? I'm not sure, but if I see it again, I will try and investigate. Go back and let the nurse's family know that their family members aren't zombies, but the graves have been robbed, and she then asks us to go and get her dad's loot back because it's an important family heirloom. While in the camp, I can see there are a few more quests available, so I might as well accept them all and then get grinding. The White Knight wants us to kill even more soldiers because his bloodlust knows no bounds. This archer wants us to gather up a load of arrows from the battlefield because they've ran out, and the bishop wants us to go to the medic tent and apply first aid to all the wounded White Army soldiers, and the general needs us to boost the morale of his troops in the field. So everybody needs me to go and do their job. I'm a morale boosting, arrow collecting, soldier healing, enemy killing, heirloom finding machine, and the next 3 hours of gameplay are honestly just so repetitive. Find and kill 10 grave robbers, which takes a while because you know how flaky the combat and aggro detection is. Find the family heirloom, it was next to the stupidly placed gravestone. Pick up 15 arrows from the battlefield. In a nice touch, you can pick up any arrow you see, doesn't matter if it's stuck into a corpse or a floor or the wall, if it's an arrow, you can take it. There's that ghost boy. Again, what is your deal, ghost child? Now to boost some morale. How do you think we do this? Maybe we cheer them on, tell them what they're fighting for, bring them some food, maybe tell them they've got increased holiday days when this all finishes, or double pay? No. We fondle them. I am not joking. You know, back in episode 1, we discovered the interaction animation was just gently twisting your hands at stuff. Well, it's the same here, except your hands are kind of at crotch level. And with the right camera angle, it does look a bit... I know I've got no real moral compass in regards to this conflict, I'm just trying to save Otherland, but I didn't think I'd be pleasuring a squad of soldiers to make that happen. So we boost the morale of 10 soldiers, then I go and wash my hands and repress that memory as hard as I can while moving on to the next quest. We need to help the wounded soldiers back in the White Army tent, but oh, the first aid is just more fondling. Well, I guess it's best to stick to what you know. Wouldn't want these injured guys being jealous of the others, would we? First aid applied, and I set off to kill 10 Dark Army archers on the ridge overlooking the battlefield. Nothing special here beyond how nice and ambient the actual ridge area is. Still hard to believe this is the same game that brought us Mars and the digital dumps. The sheer variation within the environments needs some kind of award. Back to the tents, help even more injured soldiers because an erotic masseuse's work is never done, and finally, with everyone happy, I can give the heirloom back to the nurse. She is thrilled, but now wants me to close up the exploded barrow door to stop the flow of the undead, so the to-do list keeps growing. Along with this, the knight is happy to hear we killed all the archers, but now needs us to look for an injured paladin last seen in the graveyard. When I said this section was just fetch quests or kill X quests, I wasn't kidding. Thankfully, the archer is content with her 15 arrows, and the bishop is happy knowing the wounded soldiers are taken care of, and well, of course you guys are happy, you weren't the one that had to take care of them. The general of the army is also pleased we managed to boost the morale of his troops. I like to think we don't actually tell him how we did it, but I think he knows. He's a smart man. Maybe this was his revenge for us killing him earlier. Came back from the dead just so he could make us do that. So, after a few hours of mindless fetch quests and killing quests, we have 2 left to do. Seal the barrows and find the lost paladin, so let's go. The barrows are the closest. That's the exploded crypt from the necromancer cutscene. How do you think we seal it? Maybe hammer some wood over it, or push a boulder, maybe blow it up some more? No? You interact with this tiny stone in front of it, and then it seals. I think this was the point in the game where they just stopped adding in graphical or audio flourishes because there's nothing that shows you this is any more or less sealed than it was before. But we need to seal not one, but multiple barrows, and this makes no sense because the second one isn't even open. The door is still closed, yet we still need to interact with a tiny stone to seal it. Seal all the barrows then and finally find the lost paladin. He's either having a nap or dead, and my money is on dead, so we head back to the White Army camp with this sad news. The knight is indeed saddened by the death of the paladin, but this doesn't slow his quest-giving spree. He now wants us to go and kill 14 enemies in the open field near the mausoleum. What is this game's obsession with using the number 14? It's such a strange number to assign. Do 5 or 10 or 15. Do multiples of 5. They're much easier to work with. While in the camp, we also bump into Fredericks, and she has some awesome news. She has discovered a device which can rewrite code in the game, including restoring backups of NPC coding, meaning we could use this device to rewrite the zombies back into regular soldiers. But this device is being held by gangs in the Upper Bad sector back in the Lambda Mall, and she wants us to go and meet our old friend, the Plague, and go and steal it. Sounds great, Fred, but for the sake of consistency, let me finish all the quests here first. Still got 14 enemies to kill, and you know what? I don't know if fate is smiling upon me or if the servers are just having a really good day, but the combat detection for this next bit is spot on. Hits are connecting, sound cues are playing at the right time, the screen is shaking for special attack impacts. Enemies are dying in showers of gore and viscera. This is exactly what the Unreal Engine combat can be, and for the small amount of time it works, it's terrific. Finally, with all the quests completed in the White Army camp, I can make my way to the Upper Bad sector and go and meet the Plague to get this device. I just want to point out, I've just condensed about 4 hours worth of questing into 10 minutes of video. because it was really incredibly tedious. Otherland's strength is its environmental design, its off-the-wall questing and impossible to predict storyline. Its repetitive nature, making the player kill 14 enemies or collect 15 things or click on a few things, is the worst design they could add. This entire graveyard section doesn't play to the game's strengths at all beyond ambience, and I'm very glad to be through with it and back to the zany crazy bit. Plus, as nice as the graveyard is, it's not a patch on the beauty of the cyberpunk Lambda Mall. Annoyingly, the portals in the game aren't all connected, so once again it's a case of daisy chaining my way back to the treehouse on 8 Square, then to the mall, then finally to Upper Bad. Please, just connect all of the portals together. Hopping from portal to portal isn't gameplay, this is just tedious. You know what? I've missed this art style. As gamers, we've all killed zombies. We've all killed too many zombies, and it's become a little bit cliche, and the graveyard was nice, but we've not ran through many cyberpunk cities, so this is still a novel touch. Back in the hacker shop, the Plague tells us the code rewriter device is held by a ruthless criminal mastermind called Cybernuts, and then asks if we are going to get the device, could we please also steal the map to Cybernuts' warehouse and bring it back? You know what, the Plague? Sure, if I'm going that way anyway, I will happily get you the map because you helped me before. Cybernuts, the criminal genius, is on the other side of the sector and actually says he is looking for new members to join his gang. Now, I've never been in a gang in real life, but I assume it's a bit more complicated than walking up to someone on the street and asking to join. Well, we say, yes, we'd love to join, and then we're given an initiation test. We need to hunt down Bruno, an ex-bodyguard of Cybernuts. Apparently Bruno has been spreading terrible rumours about Cybernuts, and we need to kill him for this. What kind of rumours? We don't know. Maybe he said that he puts milk in before cereal, or something equally awful. Bruno is hiding on the other side of the sector, in this shop with a false back. This is actually a really nice visual trick. The shop backboard looks complete from any angle as you walk past. But if you walk into the shop, you'll see it's a perspective-based masking trick, and you can walk through a small opening to a gambling and drinking den behind it, where we find Bruno. And then we kill Bruno. And then we return to Cybernuts' apartment to see if we are cool enough to join his gang yet. His apartment is awesome. Cool sci-fi table and circular desk in the middle of the room, amazing view of the city below. Bad guys always have the nicest places. Cybernuts tells us to join him and get the rewriter, we need to win a fight in the arena. And to be allowed to enter the arena, we must win the approval of 3 major gang leaders because they also happen to be the arena judges. So we set off on a quest to win the approval of 3 very bad people to fight other people to join a 4th bad person to get a machine to turn zombies back into people. The first gang leader is in the same dojo that we invaded in an earlier episode, and the NPC's name is meant to be Rob, but they've forgotten to add a name tag. So from now on we will know him as his moniker, Gimp Ninja. Gimp Ninja wants me to kill some merchants on the other side of the sector. They are selling drugs without his permission, so off we go. Killing the merchants is pretty easy, apart from one small issue. My left-click attack stops working, so I can't auto-attack. I can still use abilities, and thankfully the dot attacks still kill them. But if I didn't have any dots, or the dots weren't working as intended, this would take a very long time to do. If the game gets fixed, allowing left-click attack in the upper bad sector is a very important fix we'd need to focus on. Side note, I actually realised later that this is an effect of your main weapon breaking. You still visually have it equipped and you can still perform abilities, but you lose the left-click attack option. And despite being able to equip 3 weapons at any time and switch between them with F1, 2 and 3, you do not automatically switch weapons if your current one breaks. Merchant killed, report to Gimp Ninja, and now he wants the boss of the new merchants killed off, so off we go again. Obviously the fight goes the same way as every other fight goes, quickly and in our favour. On my way back, I passed this extremely polite graffiti. Not from my perspective. You know, normally in dystopian cities you'd expect like rise up or fuck the police or something short and snappy and simple. But I love that local gangs are clearly annoyed enough to graffiti, but educated enough to make the graffiti really middle class. Quick question, why does this vending machine have hit points? This is the only piece of scenery so far that has a HP bar, and I can kill it. I can kill the vending machine. You know what, I bet this is used in a quest later, because so far all of the strange design choices we've found have always been used in quests later. So I'm calling it now, this will be in a quest. Let Gimp Ninja know the merchants and the boss are dealt with, and he grants us his approval to fight in the arena. He says, Rob says okay. You know what? Even though I made up the name Gimp Ninja, I kind of prefer that over Rob. If we do get around to giving this NPC a tag, please don't make it Rob. I wonder if the quest item he gave me has any funny description text like the gems had on Mars. Oh, no, nothing interesting. But remember the magic sword we got on 8 Squared, the one that gave the dude courage, and this is described as a katana using dragon rage. That has a very Eastern feel to it, doesn't it, despite the 8 Squared simulation having a Western vibe. Very strange. Next up is Jack. This guy is the Spy Master, and his hideout is the most hidden of all hideouts ever. Very well hidden, you have to look closely, but eventually you will find it. It's the giant open-fronted building covered in flaming security cameras. It's the one with no guards, the one that you can just walk right into and see everyone staring at CCTV screens. That is the Spy Master's hideout. He wants me to place some observation bugs around the place. Okay, can do. Nice taste in furniture, by the way. Someone's clearly been to IKEA. Or wherever sells giant yellow ducks. Genuinely though, I love the posters he has up, and I would have these if I could find them. Plant these spy bugs around the town in a very, very overt way. Seriously, everyone can see me doing this. Then I return to Jack and he tells me something shocking. He tells me, there's a spy in his gang. Well, yes, Jack. Everyone in your gang is a spy. You are the Spy Master. Why is this a revelation? Oh, the spy is spying on you. The people you pay to be spies are also spying on you. Wow, colour me shocked. Who could have seen this happening? So we get sent to trail the spy. And here begins one of the most frustrating sections of the whole game. A stealth NPC trailing mission with no minimap indicator of NPC vision and no way to advance this beyond trial and error. So here we go. I need to follow this spy, but the text box warns you if you're getting too far or too close, and these warnings are useless because the spy has a vision cone, but there's no way to know this without failing because he keeps randomly turning around. My first attempt fails because I'm too far away. How? How am I too far? I can see him. I know exactly where he is. Oh god, this is going to be painful, isn't it? Failing means dropping the quest, running back to the very start and trying again. Also, if you get spotted, he throws a grenade that hurts you. Second attempt fails because he randomly turns round at this point and spots me. Previously, I was not close enough, and the moment he turns around, I'm too close. Thankfully, the bomb doesn't have a damage over time effect. Still hurts though. Third attempt is a fail again. Fourth attempt is another fail. Oh, look at the text box. What the hell? It reads, you were too far to be like a boss. To be like a boss. Was this written by someone who tried to understand gamer culture through memes or something? The fifth attempt just fails almost instantly and then more grenades happen. On the sixth attempt, I decide to use this pillar as a hiding place because the spy I'm chasing seems to have a set path and turn around at set moments. And the issue is, when they turn around and run backwards, if they see you, the mission fails. And the pillar actually works, but then I fail later on in the path. And finally, on the seventh attempt, I succeed. For anyone playing this game, here's the method. Follow the spy closely. Dodge to the right and hide behind the pillar when they run back, and then just stick directly behind them for the rest of the way. And eventually they will meet up with someone. It's actually Rosie from the start of the game, a side character that we'd all forgotten existed. Oh my god, watch this. As I creep closer, I can see they actually do have text boxes over their heads. So you can see who is speaking and not just in the main chat box. But the size and scale of the NPC text box is related to how close you are to the NPC. Meaning if you're far away, like I am, it's too small to read. And the only 2 times I've actually needed to or wanted text boxes to help follow conversations are now and back on Mars when spying on the rebels. And both of these times, getting close to the NPC wasn't an option because you'd have failed the mission. Otherland, why have you done this? Why do you have a text box above NPC head system, a system I want, but you've implemented it in a way in such that it's practically useless and no one will ever be able to use? The only NPCs we're having trouble following in conversation because we don't know who's saying what are situations when we're spying on people and can't get close to them. And the only time this system works is when you're close to people. I think this was a great example of something sounding good on paper but not actually being playtested, and no one saying, hey, this isn't actually giving the information we need it to give. Report the spy's shenanigans to the spy master and he says, okay, cool, go and kill Rozzie's men in the lower bad sector to teach her a lesson. So I walk toward the edge of the platform to get a look down below, and that is the first time I've been able to fall off a ledge in this sector. Everywhere else has an invisible wall. Also, did you notice how when you fall, you just have the standard A pose? There's no falling animation. Right, well, shortcut taken, I guess. Let's get killing. More repetitive Kill 10 gameplay. The only thing annoying me here is how there's no music between combat, but when you do fight, you get this proper thumping house electro-techno beat. This dark industrial stuff, and it's just really, really good, but it stops almost instantly the moment the fight stops, so I'm trying to fight more things just so the music keeps playing. Also, watch this really strange glitch. I managed to kill an enemy at the exact moment I start my slash ability, and for some unknown reason, this makes my whole character go into ultra slow-mo mode. But this just highlights the extreme fluidity of the animations. Watching how slowly this goes and how beautiful it looks, the proportions are spot on. If your engine is capable of rendering something like this should be a feature, not a glitch. We kill all 10 of Rozzie's men, then let Jack know the deed is done and he approves me to fight in the arena. One more gang leader to go, so we go off and find Tim. Not to be confused with Mr. Tim, the guy in the jacket from earlier, just Tim this time. Although I do find it quite odd how you have a sci-fi game with an almost unlimited amount of names and you have two important named characters both called Tim in the same city. Tim is an interesting one. You've got to head to the rougher side of the sector, into this market hall style corridor with shuttered shops, each displaying a different icon for what they likely sell, and then go through the maze of corridors, and at the back, guarded by two lookouts, is this opulent office, an oasis of class and sophistication within the dystopian city. Tim is clearly a man of money and a purveyor of the finer things in life. Tim tells me there's some late rent payments due from some shops under his protection, and I need to go and get them. I love how all these tough gang leaders just instantly trust me to go and do the most diabolical things they need doing. So apparently we are now a mugger. The first shop pays the rent with no hassle, but the second has a bit of an issue and refuses. Oh, this is the shop with the HP bars on the items. I get it now. We are gonna have to come back and break things, aren't we? Shops 3 and 4 are also no issue, so we take all the rent back to Tim, and then, as expected, he tells me to go and wreck the second shop. You know, I think Otherland is the perfect example of playing a chaotic, neutral character. We just do whatever we feel like at any given time with no real allegiance to anything beyond what sounds the most fun. And this helped me understand a core element of this game's design. You need to understand that your character is chaotic neutral, and understanding that this is a very linear game is vital for the game to work. Because although the game describes itself as an RPG, one of the greatest strengths of the classic RPG was player choice. You could approach problems from different ways. If that was the case here, there would be the option to pay the rent out of your own money and not wreck the shop. But this is very much a single-player, linear story game with a multiplayer element tagged onto it. This is a linear adventure, and that corroborates the idea that it was made by people with lots of single-player game development experience but no real MMO knowledge. Also not sure why I had to break this shop, because it looks pretty run down already. I'm not even sure if my additional smashing will be noticed. The shopkeeper agrees to pay after we break everything, so we take it back to Tim, and he's all happy for us to take on the arena. So with the approval of all 3 judges, we head back to Cybernut's apartment and let him know we're all ready to fight. Remember, we're doing all of this to get into Cybernut's good books and eventually steal the code rewriter and the map to his warehouse for the plague. We access the arena through a portal in Cybernut's apartment. It's a gladiatorial-style combat spectator sport. We get told we'll face 3 opponents, and Cybernuts is betting on us, so if we do win, we'll both become very rich. But this being the bad sector, we're also told that cheating is totally a-okay, so before the first fight we are sent to destroy the stim packs our opponent is known to take. No stim packs means they'll be weaker and we will win easily. Okay then, let's get breaking. The stim packs are very much openly just lying around in the changing room. Clearly there's lots of Russian athletes here because they're not even trying to hide the fact they're taking drugs. Oh, also there's a clothes rail with a simple red t-shirt that just says Otherland in really faded writing, and honestly, if I could find this t-shirt in real life, I would wear it. Let Cybernuts know these stim packs are all broken and he sends us to the arena for our first battle, so we run down the ramp, through the corridor and into the arena, and crowds of at least 3 people cheer us on as they wait for a thrilling fight, the back and forth of evenly matched martial combat, and then we start and it's over in seconds thanks to the broken damage over time. For the second fight, we're told we will face the Destroyer, and to gain an advantage we need to sabotage his weapons, so off we go. Now the little pointer on the map from the quest icons in the top right take me down this walkway to a back room, and I find a row of guns guarded by 1 guard. So I kill the guard, and I go to sabotage the guns, but nothing. You can't interact, there's nothing here. The quest pointer seems to show that I'm in the right place, but there's nothing I can do in the room. I even open the map to see where it wants me to go exactly, and oh, this room is actually unmapped. It's listed as undefined. We are out of the realms of existence here. I think maybe it's bugged out, so I drop the quest, and I start it again, and no, I search everywhere. The arena, both walkways, the changing room, the entrance corridor, nothing. I can't find anything. It has to be the room with the guns. And finally, after about 10 minutes, I do figure it out. You do indeed need to interact with these guns, but the interaction box is almost pixel perfect. The interaction area you need to aim at is tiny. It's not mapped to the gun model. It's a really, really specific spot in the air just in front of every gun. And if you don't aim your crosshair directly at it, the game doesn't register it. This is stupid. Once the guns are sabotaged, killing the Destroyer isn't hard because of more dots, and down he goes. And now we're told to talk to one of the judges and challenge the arena champion. But this is wrong, because we don't talk to one of the judges. The 3 judges are here. They're actually the only 3 people we can't talk to. We need to talk to random simuloid, and then the fight starts. This fight is much more direct. No cheating, straight up battle, but the champion has way more health than me, but that's not a problem because damage over time rips him down, and now we are treated to a cutscene. It seems that only Cybernuts bet on me to win. All the other gangs bet on the champion, and me winning has lost a lot of people a lot of money and made a lot of people very angry, so Cybernuts tells us to run and meet him back at the apartment. This leads to quite a nice escape sequence. There's no timer, we just fight through a few rooms of thugs. This is another moment the team's single-player, story-driven focus really shows, because it's a lovely little escape set piece. Back at the apartment, Cybernuts says he's almost ready to take us on board and share the device with us, but we need to do a few more favours first. Fine, what now? First, he wants 10 of Gimp Ninja's men killed, and as we do, we need to steal their gang badges. Gang badges. I'm just picturing some cereal toy, cardboard cutout, crayon drawn thing like children would make in a primary school. Like, oh yeah, I'm in a gang, here's my gang badge. If I get 2 more stamps on it by doing gang things, I can send off for a packet of sea monkeys or some X-ray specs from the back of a comic. Stupid gang badges. Anyway, we get 10 and let Cybernuts know, and his next step is now to kill 10 of Tim's guys on the other side of the sector and plant the badges on the bodies. Right, I see what we're doing here, inciting gang civil war after they all lost a load of money, meaning Cybernuts can fill in the power vacuum that will inevitably form. Very clever. So we kill 10 of Tim's men and plant the badges. This is, I think, the first time a killed NPC becomes an interactable object. Usually quest items from NPCs or enemies are dropped or instantly gifted to me, and interaction objects are just static meshes in the world already. This is the first moment the game combines the two into a new mechanic, the concept of kill the enemy, then interact with the corpse. With 10 badges planted, we move on to the next step of Cybernut's plan, planting spy devices all around to make it look like the spy master is overstepping his bounds with the other 2 gangs. This is where the plan falls down, because while this might sound smart and planned out, this plan really relies on all of the gang leaders suddenly forgetting that Cybernuts was the only person to bet on me in the arena and then not communicating at all. And, well, this is another big issue. You see, I need to plant devices and bugs around the place. They know I am clearly working with Cybernuts, and one of these devices, I need to plant it in Tim's market hall. Okay, kinda covert, maybe the guards didn't see me. But watch this. I need to walk into Tim's office while he's there and plant a listening bug super obviously on the other side of the room, then return to Cybernuts. If the real Spy Master has enough cameras, they'd have absolute proof that this is all a huge setup, but none of the gang leaders bother talking to each other. In script writing, this is generally referred to as an idiot plot, because it can only work if everyone involved is an idiot. I mean, we're in Gimp Ninja's room, planting a spy device right in front of him. The same guy who made his men attack me because I beat the champion, and he's not only fine with me being here, but he doesn't try to stop me at all. We're all just, hello Gimp Ninja, don't mind me, just planting a spy device. Oh yes, you also should fight the other gangs and ignore Cybernuts. Okay, bye. Back at Cybernuts' apartment, and now the final step of the plan can start. With all the gangs focused on fighting each other, we can break into the U-Cash. That's the central bank where the gangsters keep all their money, and we can steal it for ourselves. Right, well, it's good to know all the gangsters bank their money with a central bank, and it's good to know that for whatever reason, when these gangs are fighting each other, bank security just stops. So off we go. Rather conveniently, there's a portal to the bank right in the apartment. The bank is lovely. It's golden and grand and all the guards are tied up. Doesn't seem to be any police or alarms at all. And we take care of the giant robotic sentries that spawn in when we arrive. And killing these robotic sentries rewards me with probably the greatest piece of armour yet. A frickin' cape. Oh god, yes, it's beautiful. It flows, it swishes, it trails elegantly behind me, and it takes about 10 seconds before it glitches inside me and just stays there. You know what? I don't even care. Capes are cool. This is staying. This cape is happening until I get a better cape. I will learn to deal with the glitches. Most of the time it looks awesome, and that's what matters most. We crack the vault open by twiddling our hands at it. This completes the heist and the master plan, and now Cybernuts tells us to meet him at the warehouse for our reward. And I've got to be honest, that was a really underwhelming bank robbery. Back at the warehouse, Cybernuts says, thank you for helping with the bank heist, but now we have outlived our usefulness and need to be disposed of. Okay, first of all, wow, rude. And secondly, you watched me kill the arena champion. You have seen me take out multiple gang members. You've used me to break into a bank. Are you sure you want to do this? Are you absolutely sure that betraying me is the good idea? Well, okay then. We fight our way through the warehouse floors and eventually fight Cybernuts. He doesn't die, but he begs us to spare him and then runs off saying next time he sees us, he'll kill us. Okay, I'm not sure how you understand or think any of this works, mate, but okay. Finally, we take the warehouse map that's lying on the side, and then we find the code rewriter that Fred told us about, and we make our way out. On the way out, I see this poster. Have you seen this chicken? Now that looks exactly like a street vendor on Mars. So likely yes, I have. But more importantly, where can I buy this exact poster? I want this framed in my room. The Plague then appears just downstairs and we hand the map over, so at least we're still totally cool with each other, and he tells me that all the gangs are after me right now, so I should probably leave, and I completely agree, so I daisy chain the portals back to 8 squared. Hand the device over to Fred and she mixes it with some medieval potiony stuff made by our favourite Dr. Bombastus Telefantastus, and this works and we're able to return all the captured zombies back to human form. Even our old friend Jörg, and goddamn, he's a handsome guy. You know what, Jörg? You can be the thumbnail. Fred says, while the device is great and all, it's not going to be enough to defeat all of the undead, so I should go and join the White General who's preparing a charge against the origins of the zombie horde. I head over and join the White General, and I can't believe this guy has just forgotten that I killed him, because I have not forgotten what he made me do to boost troop morale, and I will not decline the offer to kill you again should it arise. We lead the charge against these shambling hordes, cutting down both zombie and Dark Army soldier alike. We've got so many factions and varying loyalties now, so many people in so many simulations. I'm just killing whatever the game tells me to kill. All I know, right now, at this exact moment, is I am on the side of the White Army and everyone else is an enemy, and I like the simplicity of this. Providing this doesn't change in the next 2 minutes, I will be at peace with who I am. So of course, this changes. After killing a load of zombies and Dark Army soldiers, I head up onto this rather important looking plinth and chat to this black cloaked figure. This mysterious person is the Apothecary, and they explain they are responsible for creating the entire Dark Army. They haven't created it for their own reasons, they were contracted to create it. Wow, okay, so we're basically meeting a digital god. They tell me they created every single Dark Army soldier because that's what they were ordered to do. But then a Dark Army necromancer, someone they created, left the Dark Army and started raising zombies by themselves and formed their own side. So basically a Dark Army wizard who was created said, screw this, I will make my own army, and then proceeded to do exactly that. However, the zombies are all idiots, and the Apothecary has managed to mind control a few, and now they want us to lead a small zombie force to the Dark Army camp where the rogue necromancer is, and then kill all the Dark Army soldiers that have joined them. And if we do this, the Apothecary will leave the White Army alone. Right, so now I am leading a small force of mind control zombies in an insurrection against a Dark Army necromancer that was created and rebelled and made their own force. I guess this game is absolutely completely determined to make sure I work for every side in the conflict. So we clear out the camp, it's not too difficult, we kill the main dude who rebelled, and with all this sorted, the Apothecary sends us back to the White General with news that the zombies will die down and the Dark Army will chill out for a bit. We let Fred know all this, and she says the Apothecary is another high-ranking Neo Grail member, so we should be very careful. But there's no time to talk, because with this area pretty much sorted, we should go to Queen's Lynn. It's a Red Army-controlled part of 8 Square, the zombies have just arrived, and we should go and see what's going down. Queen's Lynn is a short walk away, there are still zombies swarming the place and everything is on fire. Gonna be honest, this part of 8 Squared really isn't doing that well, so off we go to save the day again. So join me next week as we save the flaming village of Queen's Lynn, switch sides again and work for the Dark Army, and then let's see if we finally, after 60 hours of gameplay, find Orlando. And even if we do, why, we're not done yet. As usual, thank you very much for joining me today, and a massive thank you to my Twitch subs and Patreon supporters who make the channel possible. If you're enjoying the channel, then you can show your support and get your name on the screen from only £1 a month. Check the video description for links to the Patreon, Twitch, Twitter and Discord, and as always, have a great day.